Most people think luxury hotels make their money from expensive rooms. They're wrong. In fact, some guests spend £800 for a single night, enjoy Egyptian cotton sheets, marble bathrooms, a rooftop infinity pool, and champagne waiting on arrival. Yet that room might contribute surprisingly little profit. So if the room isn't the real moneymaker, why build hundreds of them? Why spend millions on luxury furniture, grand lobbies, and five-star service? The answer lies in an economic system hiding in plain sight. And once you see it, you'll never look at a hotel the same way again. Picture yourself walking through the entrance of a five-star hotel. A doorman opens the door before you even reach for the handle. The air smells faintly of white tea. Soft piano music echoes across polished marble floors. Staff greet you by name. Everything feels effortless. It almost feels magical. But magic doesn't pay electricity bills. Behind every perfectly folded towel and every sparkling chandelier is a business fighting one of the toughest financial battles in the world. Because while guests see luxury, hotel owners see something completely different. They see payroll, water bills, air conditioning running 24 hours a day, laundry machines that never stop spinning, elevators that need constant maintenance, insurance premiums, property taxes, interest payments on enormous construction loans, and the meter never stops running. That's the first secret most people never notice. Unlike many businesses, hotels can't simply switch off when customers disappear. Whether every room is occupied or completely empty, the building still needs security, reception still needs staff, hallways still need lighting, pools still need cleaning, kitchens still need refrigeration. An empty hotel is incredibly expensive. Imagine owning a 300-room luxury hotel. Every sunrise begins with thousands of pounds in costs before a single guest checks in. Every unused room represents something impossible to recover, because unlike a phone or a pair of shoes, yesterday's unsold hotel room can never be sold tomorrow. Once the night passes, that revenue disappears forever. That's why hotels obsess over occupancy. Occupancy is simply the percentage of rooms filled each night. Most successful hotels aren't full every day of the year. Many average somewhere between 60 and 80%, depending on the season, location, and local events. At first glance, 70% sounds impressive. But here's where it gets interesting. Imagine selling 70 out of 100 rooms. Sounds profitable, right? Not necessarily. If the remaining 30 rooms sit empty, those rooms still generate heating costs, maintenance costs, depreciation, and financing expenses without producing a single pound of income. Those empty rooms quietly drain profits. Which raises another question. If empty rooms are so expensive, why don't hotels simply slash prices until every room is full? Because full hotels don't always make the most money. This is where economics becomes surprisingly clever. Hotels discovered that charging the same price every day actually leaves money on the table. Instead, prices constantly change, sometimes every hour. Book a room 6 months early, and you might pay half the price someone pays the night before arrival. Stay during a quiet Tuesday in February, and rates collapse. Visit during a major concert, business conference, or holiday weekend, and prices suddenly triple. It feels unfair, but it's mathematics. Behind the scenes, sophisticated pricing systems analyze demand, weather forecasts, airline bookings, local events, historical trends, and even how quickly reservations are arriving compared to previous years. They're constantly asking one question: what's the highest price someone is willing to pay tonight? That's why two people sleeping in identical rooms can pay completely different prices. The room never changed, only demand did. But even that isn't the biggest secret, because many hotels aren't really trying to maximize room revenue at all. They're trying to maximize the value of every guest who walks through the front door. Think about your last hotel stay. Maybe you ordered breakfast, bought drinks at the bar, paid for parking, booked a massage, ate dinner in the restaurant, used room service after midnight because nothing else was open. Suddenly, that 250-pound room becomes a 500-pound customer. The room wasn't the destination. It was the beginning of the spending. Luxury hotels understand something casinos discovered decades ago. Once someone is inside the building, convenience becomes incredibly valuable. After a long flight, walking 10 minutes to find dinner feels exhausting. Paying a little extra for room service suddenly feels reasonable. Buying another cocktail downstairs becomes effortless. Small decisions quietly become large revenue streams. And that's only half the story. Some guests barely use their rooms at all. Business travelers often leave before sunrise, spend the entire day in meetings, and return late at night simply to sleep. Yet they're among the most valuable customers because businesses frequently pay the bill. Corporate travel is predictable, reliable, less sensitive to price. A company sending executives to close million-pound deals rarely argues over an extra £40 per night. Hotels love that stability. Then come conferences. One corporate event can fill hundreds of rooms simultaneously while generating income from meeting spaces, catering, coffee breaks, audio-visual equipment, and evening receptions. A single wedding can produce something similar. Guests book rooms. Families reserve banquet halls. The couple purchases catering packages. Friends order drinks. Photographers rent spaces. Florists decorate ballrooms. One celebration. Multiple income streams. The economics become beautifully interconnected. But here's something even more surprising. Many famous luxury hotels aren't actually owned by the brands above the entrance. When you see names like Hilton, Marriott, Hyatt, or Intercontinental, the company operating the brand often doesn't own the building itself. Instead, a separate investor or property company owns the expensive real estate. The hotel brand provides something different: its reputation, its reservation system, its loyalty program, its operating standards. In return, the property owner pays licensing and management fees. It's a bit like wearing a designer label. The logo itself creates value. That means some of the world's largest hotel companies have expanded across continents without purchasing every building themselves. It's an incredibly efficient business model. Own the brand. Let others own much of the concrete. Collect fees as the network grows. But even this misses the deepest economic truth. Hotels aren't competing with other hotels as much as they're competing for something far more limited: your time. Think about why someone books a luxury hotel. They're not buying 4 walls and a bed. They could sleep somewhere much cheaper. Instead, they're buying convenience after a delayed flight. They're buying confidence before an important meeting. They're buying memories during an anniversary. They're buying peace while someone else cleans the room. They're buying status when entertaining clients. They're buying location because every minute saved matters. The room is simply the physical container. The real product is emotional, and emotions have extraordinary economic value. That's why 2 hotels with nearly identical bedrooms can charge dramatically different prices if one overlooks the Eiffel Tower, sits beside Central Park, or occupies a private beach. The mattress didn't become softer. The view became priceless. Location transforms ordinary buildings into premium experiences. Suddenly, paying hundreds more doesn't feel irrational. It feels worth it. This is why the world's most successful hotels invest so heavily in details guests barely notice. Signature scents, carefully chosen music, perfect lighting, staff training, faster check-ins, personalized greetings. Every small improvement increases the chance you'll return. Because acquiring a new customer is expensive, keeping an old one is far more profitable. That's why loyalty programs exist. Free upgrades, late checkouts, reward points. They're not acts of generosity. They're investments designed to bring you back again and again. And if they succeed, the lifetime value of one loyal guest can be worth tens of thousands of pounds, not because of one room, but because of years of future visits. In the end, luxury hotels were never really in the business of renting beds. Beds are everywhere. What they're really selling is certainty, in an uncertain world. A place where everything works exactly as expected. A place where someone else solves the problems. A place that lets you feel important, relaxed, productive, or celebrated, even if only for a single night. The marble floors, the infinity pools, the champagne, and the immaculate service aren't the business. They're the theater. The economics happen behind the curtain. So the next time you walk through the lobby of a luxury hotel, look a little closer. Every smile, every polished surface, every perfectly timed greeting is part of an economic machine designed with remarkable precision, because the room was never the product. The experience was. And experiences are some of the most profitable products ever created.